What's up YouTube? Dustin back with another video, and today I will be reviewing, as you can see in the title, one of the greatest books ever written, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of the best financial books ever written. Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's very informative, it's very entertaining. The way he writes it, it's a story, and there's a lot of debate and there's a lot of arguments saying that this story is not 100% true. He's falsifying some information to make the story sound better, and that could be true, that may not be true. If you're an entrepreneur, you've most likely read this book right here, and I can give you a personal note on this. Like, I read this book and I told my friend, like my best friend, I was telling him that I was into business a couple of years ago, probably right before or after we graduated. It has to be after we graduated high school, I believe. I was just talking to him about some business, and at this job that he worked, well, he still works there. So I was telling my friend about business and stuff like that, and I was telling him about some of my books that I've been reading, and I might have mentioned Rich Dad Poor Dad to him. I don't remember, but I told him that I was into like business, eBay, passive income. Like, I was telling him that kind of stuff that I was learning about when he was working at his job, and someone was an entrepreneur that worked with him. He was working only a couple days because his business stuff was taking off, so he was kind of getting ready to do the transition to full-time entrepreneurship. And he told him, read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he read it in one night, and it totally changed his perspective on money and business and investments and like passive income and all that kind of stuff. That was 3 years ago. We're both still struggling to figure it all out, but like this one book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, completely turned a 180 on his mind on business and money and how money works. Lesson number 1. The rich don't work for money. Money works for the rich. Okay, what that means, or the rich don't work for money, money works for them. He says that a lot in the book. People will say it like that. That means that the rich, they don't have jobs. They don't have a 9-to-5 job. The rich don't do that because you don't get rich that way. You don't get a lot of wealth just working a 9-to-5 job. Okay, so most Americans, most people in the world, they work for their living in terms of they work a job. They work 40 hours or whatever, how many hours overtime, part-time, whatever it is that they need to work to make ends meet. You know, they're working every hour, they're getting paid, they're working for money. Rich people, wealthy people, people who have investments and passive income and all that stuff, they have money work for them. Don't get it twisted. When it says the rich don't work for money, that doesn't necessarily mean they were sitting on their ass all day, not doing anything. That's not really what it means. It just means they're not trading time for money. They're not clocking in and clocking out for money. Lesson number 2, treat every dollar as your own employee. And you may be thinking, what are you talking about? What do you mean treat? What? Like, treat my every dollar as an employee? What does that even mean? Well, if you're like most people in this world, you are working a job. You have to be working a job to pay your bills or whatever. If you get paid $1,000 from your job, you have 1,000 employees. You have the power, you have the choice to have that employee either help you make money in the future, relatively short or long term, or you have the power to have that employee go away forever. The third lesson, this is a really big, important lesson. Pay yourself first. You get paid. You take that money, and most people put it towards bills. They put it towards liabilities. And what happens is you end up with no money really, or you're in debt, okay? Well, when you pay yourself first, you're putting money directly first into your savings. You're putting money directly into your investment portfolio, whatever that may be. Or you have a business idea and you're putting money directly into your business, passive income stream or savings to keep as much money as you can, because it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. Lesson number 4. Don't say, I can't afford it. Say, how can I afford it? If you say, I can't afford it, you're automatically telling your mind, your brain, to be like, oh, can't afford it, can never get it, don't know how to get it, can't get it. You're telling your brain that when you say, I can't afford something. If someone says, oh, let's get this. If you automatically say, I can't afford it, and I say this all the time, and I gotta get that out of my mind, you're telling your mind, you're telling your brain not to think of any way to make the money. You're not thinking outside the box. You're not trying to create the money to be able to get it. So what you want to say instead of, I can't afford it, is, how can I afford it? I want this. How can I afford it? That makes your mind think. It makes you really think deep and hard about how can make that money to buy or get what you want. Okay, so if you say I can't afford it, you're automatically shutting down any possibility of getting it. If you say how can I afford it, you're thinking of ways to be able to afford it. Lesson number 5. Most people, and I do realize that people still think this way, I've seen it personally, they believe that their house, their number one asset. A liability takes money away. An asset gives you money back. So what does that mean? Well, your mortgage that you're paying every month to stay in the place that you're living at right now, that's a liability because it's taking money away from you every single month after month, year after year, decade after decade. It's taking money away from you. It's sucking you dry, okay? That's not an asset. An asset would be if you had a house that you already paid off and you're renting it out, or like you're making money off of it from having renters rent it out and everything, and or like a vacation home that you're renting out, or like an apartment complex you're renting out. Those, in those cases, will be assets. But the number one thing to think about again is a liability takes money away, an asset gives you money. So if something's giving you money, it's an asset. If something's taking money away from you, it's a liability. And the number one thing to do, that rich people do, is they have lower liabilities and higher assets. The number one thing poor people do is have higher liabilities and lower to no assets. Lesson number 6. Work to learn, not to make money. You gotta work to learn, guys. Don't work to make money. Because when you work to make money, like at a job, you're just gonna be stuck in the rat race and you don't wanna be there. You're not gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna hate your life. You're gonna hate your job. You're gonna hate everything around you. I've been there personally. I struggle with that still to this day. And if you're just working to make money, you're not going to get very far. But if you're working to learn, that's a whole different thing. Working to learn can be an apprenticeship, internship, and it can be a lot of million different things too, like online you can learn. Because remember, this book was written like when the internet was like infancy, so like things have changed a lot since then, so you can really work online, not make money, but learning. Like right now I can go on my computer and just learn email marketing, or learn like a different type of marketing, or like YouTube video style, like learning about something like a passive income stream. I can be learning about it, but I'm not making money. I'm working on something, but I'm not making money from it. I'm learning. So back in the day it was like internships, like apprenticeships, like learning under someone who knows what they're doing. Now if that is your job, you do want to make the money, but your number one reason should be to learn the trade, to learn what you're going to be doing every day of your life. Your number one goal in the beginning really should be not to work to earn, but work to learn. Because remember, you don't want to work for money, you want money to work for you. Reason number 7, find a reason greater than reality. Now what does that mean? That simply just means that your reason needs to be so strong that you're going to do this no matter what happens, whatever gets in your way. Whatever problems occur while building this business or building an investment portfolio, your reason has to be greater than reality, okay? If you, in your mind, you're like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't really have a reason for doing it, I'm just kind of messing around, kind of bullshitting around a little bit, you're not going to get very far, okay? I mean, you might, if you just have super talent and just, like, you get things really quick, you can probably do it with minimal effort. Some people can do that, but a lot of people, they need a really good why, and that's a thing a lot of people talk about. What's your why? Is your why strong enough? And find a reason greater than reality. You know, what is your reason for wanting to be an entrepreneur? Mine would be, I don't want to work the rest of my life. I don't want to struggle the rest of my life financially. I feel like once you get your financial situation figured out and you get like a good amount of income, good amount of wealth, and you have all these streams of income, and you just keep growing that, and you grow other streams and plant other seeds to grow bigger trees of financial freedom and stuff like that. I feel like not all your problems are solved, but I feel like a large percentage of your daily problems that occur with most people living in this world are gone for the most part. I mean, think of all your problems, that most of them probably are financially. Now there's a lot of problems people have that money won't solve, but in a lot of cases money can help solve better ways, or help solve things faster, and also just reduce a lot of stress that people are dealing with. A lot of people have stress because of money. I'm definitely one of those people. You know, not only have like a car payment, a car No. I have a car note and car insurance and like a phone bill, but that's not that bad. But like the car stuff, I mean, that stuff keeps me up sometimes because I got to pay that, and I'm only 21, and it's like, crap, I should have maybe just bought another crappy car and not have a payment. I'd be way better off right now, I feel like. That's just me personally. I'm cutting all that out. That was crap. Whatever part. That was a tangent that doesn't need to be in here. So what's your reason? My reason is I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be poor. I want to have a good life. I want to be able to travel the world when I want to. Alright, lesson number 8. Improve your financial IQ. Now, what does this mean, your financial IQ? Your financial intelligence. What does that mean? Make it better. Like, how do you improve that? Well, you know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to know numbers. You need to know somewhat basic math, obviously. Just really basic math. You don't need all this crap that they teach us in school. You need very basic math skills to be able to add and subtract, and basically that's all you really need is add and subtract. And anything more complicated is, you can hire that out. But like, you got to know the numbers. You got to know your numbers. You got to know financial terms. You got to know the balance sheet and like income statement, income sheet. See, I don't even know. You need to know your income, your profit loss margins, profit loss. You need to know a lot of financial stuff. My brain's not working right now. Improve your financial IQ. That's very simple. You just need to know financial terms. You need to know a balance sheet. You know, you need to know very basic business stuff and a little complicated stuff. And the more business you do, the more you need to know. So if you have very basic income streams, very lightweight income streams, I guess, like very easy to manage and stuff like that, it's going to be a lot easier. But if you have more complex businesses and LLCs and corporations, then it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little more, or a lot more intense with what you need to know and what you need to have done properly. But financial IQ is just being able to read certain documents, being able to put a deal together, to know if there is a good deal. That's really what the big thing with the financial IQ is. How do you know if this deal's a good deal or not? That's something that you got to teach. And he does talk a lot about financial IQ, so, and a lot of people do. And there's just very basic things you need to know, and then like more advanced stuff that you might need to know as you progress. But definitely learn the basics. Lesson number 9. Master a formula and then move on to the next. Master a formula and learn a new one. What does that mean? Well, think about it. Think about it like school. Like I was just talking about math. You would learn a mathematical formula in school. You would do a bunch of problems on it. You would somewhat master it, possibly. Not everyone mastered it, but let's say, all intents and purposes, you mastered it. You knew it from the back of your hand. You knew that new formula back of your hand. You mastered it. Well, what happens? You maybe take a quiz or a test, probably a quiz on that, and then you move on to the next formula. You wouldn't know it, and then you would take sometimes the last formula and put it into this one. Possibly that happened a lot too. So now you're learning a new formula with new numbers and new letters for some reason. In math. Come on, it's math. Come on. But you learned these different things, these different formulas in math class and all these other classes. You would master it and then move on to the next. Same thing in business. You want to master a formula. You want to master a formula how to make money, an income stream. You want to master it, you want to learn it, you want to master it, move on to the next. You want to create as many as you can, learn as many as you can, and master as many as you can. It's simply just kind of like building up multiple income streams. You want to learn a formula for one, master it, build another one up, plant another seed, grow another tree, plant another seed, grow another tree, and on to the next. Alright guys, number 10. Big lesson number 10. Escape the rat race. Boom. That's all you gotta hear. Escape the rat race, guys. Robert T. Kiyosaki says, I was mentioning before how you are stuck in the rat race if you're just paying your bills, working, paying your bills, working, paying your bills, have nothing left over. In this book, he tells you that you gotta escape the rat race, and all these concepts and lessons that I was talking about, and also the other dozens that are in this book, will show you how you can escape the rat race. There's so many videos online telling you how to escape the rat race. build up your financial IQ, build up passive income, build up investment portfolio. You know, take as much money as you can, save it, that you're not money that you're not investing or putting into a business. Investing, put it into savings. Keep as much money as you can, so that way you can definitely escape the rat race much faster. Something I need to really personally work on. Money management is a number one thing you really need to master, and that's a big thing. You gotta manage your money, or your money will manage you guys. And escaping the rat race is pretty much all about money management, and that's what Robert T. Kiyosaki talks about the most and understands a lot about. So if you want to learn from someone who knows what he's talking about, definitely pick up Rich Dad Poor Dad. It'll be in the description box below. Thank you for watching this video. 10 ideas, 10 lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm Dustin Doyle. Thank you for watching this video.